Production funding for Sports Files is made possible in part by
Infinity of Memphis has moved to Germantown Road, just half-mile north of Wolf Chase Galleria, and is proud to support WKNO for its quality broadcasting and service to our community. Quality and service? No wonder Infinity of Memphis feels at home on WKNO.
the WKNO Production Fund, the WKNO Endowment Fund, and by viewers like you. Thank you.
My guest today on Sports Files is the head coach of the Memphis Tigers basketball program, Josh Pastner. Football may be in full swing, but we are just around the corner from both NBA and college basketball camps opening up. The University of Memphis actually began limited full-team practice this past Thursday and will officially begin camp on October 3rd. Head coach Josh Pastner has had an off-season he would soon rather forget with the departure of several players, most noticeably the Tigers' most productive player, Austin Nichols. The sudden exit of the junior-to-be who transferred to the University of Virginia threw Coach Pastner and the program for a loop. Now the Tigers head man heads into his 7th season at the helm with plenty of pressure coming from the Tigers fan base. Last season, the Tigers, despite a respectable 18-14 record, failed to make the postseason for the first time in 15 years. For many programs, finishing the season 4 games above the 500 mark would be considered productive. But at the University of Memphis, expectations for the program are much higher. Pastner realizes that the only way to satisfy Tiger Nation is to win, and win big. And this season's challenge will be that much more difficult without the services of the all-AAC performer, Austin Nichols. Today on Sports Files, Josh Pastner opens up to me about job security, negative fans, and trying to overcome losing his top player. He also praises Tiger fans for their passion and honesty and previews this season's squad, giving us a breakdown on all of his players. Josh Pastner, the head coach of the Memphis Tigers, is next on Sports Files. Josh, great to have you on the show again.
Greg,
good to
thank
see
you. Congratulations on being a granddad.
Thank you so much.
You're too young for that.
I'm way too young for that, Josh.
You know, you do have a lot of gray hair up there, you know. Were
Father
you a coach? Are you a coach? Is
I
that
don't
why?
know. I don't know. Why is your hair not that gray?
Oh, it's internally, it's getting there. Don't, you know, trust me, it's going to be there sooner than later.
Well, it's been quite an eventful summer.
Yeah.
I know now you have the workouts and you're getting closer to the start of practice and before too long the games. But let me start with the Austin Nichols situation. Obviously, he's now gone and moved on, and you're trying to move on as well. But did you take his transfer personally?
Well, first of all, Greg, it's a good question because I haven't been asked that type of question. Was it personal? I looked at it that, one, I was blindsided. I didn't know it was coming. I did not know it was coming. Austin had never alerted me to this. It was a total blindsided. I was blindsided. If I had known, or we had known, or he did this in the spring, we could have signed another guy or two. We had some guys that we could have signed to replace him. Mm-hmm. Maybe not as good as Austin, but could have filled that void if that happened in the spring. And maybe we don't even lose another guy in the spring based on that. But that happens. I don't wish him any ill will. We wish him the best. Things happen. And I do know that Tiger Nation is going to, no matter who's on the floor, is going to count on us and hold us to the high standard of getting the job done on the floor. So that's the bottom line. I was disappointed, obviously, with the end outcome. But in the end, we've got to move forward. We've got some really good players returning guys plus the incoming guys. And on top of that, Greg, it gives some guys who might not have played as much now more opportunities. A door is open for them to take advantage of the time, the minutes, the shots, the whatever it may be, the opportunity to be on the floor and to really step up and get the job done for us.
With all that said, it's only one player, but it's a player that is going to change how you play basketball this season.
Well, I've always been a 3-around-2 type of coach through my first 6 years as a head coach, Greg, 3-around-2. And,
explain that to the folks.
Yeah, 3-around-2 is 3 out, 2 in, traditional, 3 guards, 2 guys in the post. With Austin leaving, we're going to have to make adjustments, and the adjustments we're going to have to make is we're going to have to be more 4-around-1. What's 4-around-1? That means about floor spacing. That doesn't mean 4 guards. That means you can use your 4-man and space the floor and try to create some matchup issues because we have to get to the free throw line more than we did last year. We have to shoot better from 3-point range than we did last year. that doesn't mean more threes. That just means more efficient, allowing their guys maybe to have their feet set to create more closeouts by penetration, which opens up the floor if you're better spaced, having 4 out. And I think having 4 around 1 or more floor spacing will be better against teams that pack the floor against us or play pack line defense, which we've struggled against. And when you're playing a 3 around 2, it actually favors the pack line defense. So those type of things. But, you know, there's just some different things that we will have to make the adjustments on. And as I said, guys in the positions that we put them in will have to step up and get the job done. But I'm excited to see some of the adjustments that we make, and will they work when we get to game time. And I think we have some guys who are really good, who are going to be better than people think, and we can put them in some positions that are going to create them to have really good success. And we have to play faster, because if we're going to play smaller and or more spaced, we also have to play with greater pace as well too. And one last thing, we've got to be better, which we need to be, in transition defense, because we have to shrink the floor on the other end defensively. We've got to keep it shrunk, we've got to keep it compact, and we've got to be better in transition defense, which we were not really good last year at all.
And you better make shots.
Well, we got to make shots, and this is something that we've talked about all summer long and all preseason and practices. We've got to be great in half-court defense. That also includes shrinking the floor, as I call it, on the split line, which is the line straight down the floor, 2 passes away. You're on that split line. You're really crowding the floor. All 5 guys are guarding the basketball. We've got to be good in that area. When the shot is up, we've got to finish the possession and be a good defensive rebounding team, limiting the offense to 1 shot. And then from there, Greg, offensively, we have to be really good with our pace, our speed, our push-up, our attack mode. We did not get enough transition baskets last year. That was a strength of ours in the years past, but last year it was not a strength of ours. We have to be better in our pace. And then the other thing, Greg, our ability to value the ball has to be so much better, taking care of the ball, low turnovers. We've been doing so many sureness drills. Sureness drills are things to really take care of the ball, focus on valuing the ball, whether it's just a 2-handed simple chest pass, learning how to get open, meeting the pass, running through the pass. Those type of things we're doing a lot, because it's about limiting our turnover, because we turned over way too much last year.
You mentioned earlier being a 3 around 2 and now being a 4 around 1.
Mm-hmm.
So having to change a little bit of how this team plays. Was there a lot that you had to do personally from a strategic standpoint as far as a philosophy of the game when you had to make this switch, knowing that you were thin with the bigs?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely thin up front. There's no doubt about that. And there's going to be some times where we're going to have to play a guard or a forward, sort of like a Markel Crawford, KJ Lawson at that 4 spot. You know? And we're going to have to do that at times. But I always take, when the season's done, I always look back, see what did we do well, what didn't we do well, and really self-examine myself on some things that I thought that I did well or didn't do well, and being truthful to yourself. These are things that we got to get better at. These are things I got to get better at. And then from there, you study the game for whatever it may be, something that you really want to study in the off season. And I spent a lot of time studying, just floor spacing, understanding floor spacing, going more spread, and also about playing a 4 out, 1 in type of basketball.
Did you talk to people?
I talked to people. I talked to coaches. I talked to different coaches. I studied tons of film. And really dove in and strategically was zeroed in on these type of things, so we are prepared going into the season. Now, again, of course, you got to make shots, you got to do some different things on that, but the spacing of the floor will allow us to have better driving angles, will allow us better to get to the free throw line better. We didn't even got to the free throw line enough last year. And we've got to be able to get to the free throw line more and put the ball in the basket. It will allow us to have better spacing and driving angles to maybe get better open opportunities from 3-point range, where guys maybe need to have their feet set more to be a better 3-point shooter.
Josh, one of the concerns going into last season was the fact that you had a bunch of new faces. You were bringing in players in August, for goodness sakes, and you were having to find the right chemistry mesh.
I played too many guys last year. There's no question about that. I played 9, 10, sometimes 11 guys. We didn't have a good set rotation. In my first 5 years as a head coach, I played 7 guys, sometimes 6.5, literally. I mean, when I say 6.5, you're talking about a guy maybe played 8 or 10 minutes.
Right.
I played too many guys last year early on. We didn't have a defined rotation. That was a mistake on me.
But isn't that because you didn't know the defined roles of these players because they were new?
It wasn't the defined roles. I defined the roles. It wasn't there was separation. From besides a guy or two, we had basically from 3 to 10 was just all bunched in.
Right.
And I should have just cut it right there and say, these 7, I'm going with these 7.
And you're going to do that this season?
100%, and I'm going to start at the game when we play Lemoyne Owen.
Okay, so you're not worried about chemistry issues with a bunch of new players this year as well?
I was worried about it last year, and it got us 18 and 14.
Right.
And you know what? If Austin didn't get injured, we probably would have ended up getting to the NCAA tournament because we probably would have won 3, 4, 5 more games and put us in a position to be in the NCAA tournament. So it wasn't all doom and gloom with that.
Right.
But it put us in some things early on where we didn't
Early on, right.
We did not play well early on because I felt I was trying to play 10 guys. I'm not worried about. We're going to have good chemistry, but I'm sticking to my guns on our rotation on that. That doesn't mean somebody not in the rotation can move into the rotation or vice versa, or move out of it. It just means you're playing with that shorter bench.
All right, I'm going to get your thoughts on a number of different players in a moment. The addition of bringing back Damon Stoudemire, what does it mean?
I think Damon's going to be really good for us. I mean, guard play was not good for us last year, and he's going to come in and help us with that. There's no doubt about that. We had good success with the guards when he was here last time, so he'll come in and help us, and we're excited for him to be able to come back.
All right, give me a little bit on a number of these players. Let's start with Kedron Johnson. Overweight last year, started to play better at the end of the year. He's been terrific in the summer, I've heard. He's lost a lot of weight. Where do we stand with him?
Well, Greg, he was not good at the start of the year last year. Out 13 months. He was out of shape. We lost some weight when he first came in, but he just wasn't good at the start of the year. He just stunk. There's no other way to put it. Second half of the season, he was much better. And if you look at the last 7 or 8 games, he was pretty good. Shot over 40% from three-point range, did some good things. Right now, he's worked his butt off this summer and this preseason. We have weight limits he has to meet, and he's met them so far. And by him working like that, Greg, not only is it good for him mentally and physically, it's good for his teammates to see how he's working and that he's invested into this team.
Is he projected as your starting point guard?
We have no projection of any starter
None
right
yet.
now because we're still wide open on that, and we got a lot of time because we haven't hit our stride in the main practices in October.
All right, Ricky Tarrant, I know he's been hurt. He's the transfer from Alabama, started at Tulane. I like the kid.
Freshman of the year in Tulane.
Called a couple of the games
Yep.
that the Tigers played against Tulane when he was in there scoring points. How does he fit in?
Well, Ricky's a really good player. He's a guy that can get to the free throw line. He can score. He's an experienced guard. The key thing for him is being healthy.
Right.
And we're going to manage his time in practice with his conditioning and everything. We've got to make sure he's in great shape, but we've got to make sure he's healthy. He's a guy that can really be a big piece for us, and I'm excited for him once we get to game time. I think he's going to really help us.
How much better of a shooter from the outside can Markel Crawford get?
Markel Crawford needs to be a triple-double type of player. Contrary to what people might think, or a person wrote in the paper where I said that I never said he's going to be a triple-double, average a triple-double. He's going to be a guy that's a triple-double type of player. That means a stat sheet stuffer. Mm-hmm. That means he can get 12, 7, and 5, or 10, 6, and 6, and whatever it may be, because he's a guy that can play multiple positions and do different things. And he doesn't need to shoot a lot of threes. He needs to shoot the right threes with his feet set and be very efficient.
Shaq Goodwin not having Austin next to him. How does it affect him?
It's a great thing for Shaq. You know why? Second half of the season, he played his best basketball since he's been here when Austin went down. It forces Shaq now to take ownership and responsibility, knowing that he can't lean on Austin to bail him out of situations. Shaq has to be a monster from day one to the last day of the season, and he knows without Austin there, I think it's going to be a blessing for Shaq because it's going to force him to take full ownership to be a stud from the very start to the very finish and put consistency. And he's doing things right now that shows me that he's going to do that. He's got to get it done on the floor, but I truly believe it will happen.
And he has to be a leader, right?
He's got to be a leader, but it doesn't have to be a leader vocally. He's got to be a great leader by his work ethic, by being first one to practice, last one to leave, just being a guy that can put us on his shoulders like he did the first half versus Temple, like he did when he had 18 rebounds, or like he did versus Connecticut in that game at Connecticut. He was a monster. That's how he needs to be every time he steps on the floor.
Has to show consistency. I fell in love with the game of Tristan Burrell. He does a lot of things as the
back
back
in the
for
season,
the ball.
He was really good. Yeah.
How much better can he get, and how much better does he need to get?
We need him to score. And now he wasn't a great three-point shooter or free throw shooter.
No, he was not.
He's got to be efficient, like Markel. He doesn't need to take a lot of threes, but he's got to make the open three. And he's a guy that needs to score for us, especially Austin, who averaged 13, 14 a game. We need him. We need Burrell to be a guy that helps pick up that scoring.
Avery Woodson was a guy who shot the three ball well until late
towards the end of the year.
Did he just run out of gas?
Conditioning. He wasn't at the shape that we needed to be in at the end of the year, and that's something that we've worked on fixing. And he's got to be a guy that's moving without the ball, being hard to guard, and being more of a threat when he doesn't have the ball, so he can be a guy that can make shots under when he's under duress or when he's tired late in the game.
All right, let's talk about the youngsters now. Tell me about all your new guys and what you expect from them. Give me brief statements on all of them.
Yeah, I mean, KJ Lawson, he plays hard, gets after it, rebounder, a good knack for the ball. Dedrick Lawson, high IQ, can shoot the ball, understands floor spacing, really, really good player. Jeremiah Martin, I think, from Mitchell High School, two-time state champion. I think the fans are going to fall in love with this young man. Plays hard, motor's revved up, great defender. Craig Randall, a lefty, can really shoot the ball. Long arms. He's from Phoenix, originally from Ohio. He's got a chance as a prospect down the road to be good. Nick Marshall, 6'11", 250, can run the floor, block shots, good reaction time. In time, he's going to be a stud here.
But you may need to play him, right?
With Austin out, Nick Marshall's got an opportunity. He should be licking his chops. He's got an opportunity now to step up and take advantage of minutes that he might not have gotten beforehand. So it's on him to take advantage of it. And then Randall Brody, who's getting better. I think his best basketball is down the road. He's still struggling right now, just picking up the system, but down the road he can be a good player for us.
Josh, you are under contract for a number of years. You're coming off, obviously, a very disappointing season. Do you feel any pressure going into this year?
You know, last year was not satisfactory for us. It was an unsatisfactory season. Like I said, if Austin probably doesn't get injured, we probably win 4 more games. I told everyone ahead of time that we were going to be up and down and struggle for the beginning part of the year, which we did, and then we're going to get better after January, which we did. I also know that Bill Parcells has the quote, which I believe, "You are what your record says you are." And if you look at our 6 years here, we've won close to 72, 73% of our games.
Right.
If you asked me 7 years ago when I got the job following Coach Calipari in the greatest 4-year run in the history, and people thought that it was just the end of the world here, would you take someone having won 72, 73? Who wouldn't have signed up for it?
If you started before John.
But the point is look, I have not been here at a game or a year that I have coached where we're not under basketball pressure. Not life pressure,
right,
as in terms
right,
of dealing life and death, but just basketball pressure within the environment that we're in. So I get it. That's part of it. That's part of being the head coach at Memphis.
Do you feel you have the support of the administration?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm very fortunate to have 2 great bosses in Tom Bowen and President Rudd. Love both gentlemen. I think they're visionaries. They're great. I love working for them, love working with them, and I bounce a lot of things off of them on a constant basis, and we really have a good partnership, all 3 of us.
I know you've been working hard recruiting. You're on the road an awful lot. This team has gone through training camp, or they're getting ready for camp, but they've been working out hard in the offseason. How excited are you? How eager are you to get this team together, start practicing, and tip off the season?
Listen, Greg, I'm always motivated for every season, but this is nothing like I haven't been motivated that I've ever been. I mean, this is at an all-time high of motivation. I am so jacked, so pumped, and excited for the season, the challenge. I understand people are going to be watching, looking at us. I'm just really excited for what we can do this year. I'm excited for our guys. We are going to strive to have competitive excellence at the highest level every single day. Every time we step on the floor, Tiger Nation is going to fall in love with this team, rally around this team. I'm pumped, and I'm ready to start going right now. I'm ready for the ball to be tipped. I'm ready to get coaching, and we're looking forward to a great season.
I know Tiger Nation excited for a bounce-back year, and I know you guys are excited to bring them one.
Well, here's the thing. I want to win more games so I don't end up with the hair that you have. I got enough hair right here of not going to the bald and gray. So I want to keep my hair as it is.
There's always hair, and it's not much gray. That's good.
But congratulations on being a grandfather.
Thank you, Josh.
Yes,
and thank you for doing this as always.
Thank
we
you
appreciate
as well. Appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll take a break. Overtime is next. Last summer on Sports Files, we were able to bring you an 8-part series on helping your golf game with our Good Golf Made Easy segments. Now we'd like to introduce a new series of tips that will help you better your health. I've called upon several personal trainers around the Memphis area to come up with different lessons that you can use in your own home to assist you in getting into better shape and thus improving upon your general health. It's called Fitness You Can Live By. And today, Nate Sellers, a certified personal trainer from LA Fitness, will get us started with general tips on bettering your balance and motion.
Hi, I'm Nate, certified personal trainer, and today we're going to go over a few tips on balance and mobility. A lot of problem with people suffer with nowadays is poor posture and very sedentary lifestyles. So I'm going to go over a few exercises today to help compensate for that. And the first one, I'm going to be using this platform. Now at home you can use a chair or a stool, something like that. And what we're going to do is work on the hips and our hamstrings. Bring one foot up. Now you want to make sure your posture is straight the whole time. And we're going to sink into our hips here. Just like that. Bring the other leg up. Now no more than 10 to 15 seconds on either with. And you also want to come from the side now. Bring everyone up. Keep your posture straight and just allow it to sink in. Just like that. The other leg. Posture straight up. And allow it just to sink into the muscle. Now I want to do a few exercises on balance. So at home, we can use dumbbells. Now for balance training, all you can do easily here is to stand on one foot, just like this. And you can do a series of exercises with dumbbells. For example, just a curl. Make sure you do plenty with each arm. Now if you wanted to move it to the upper body, bring it up. Now make sure you do the even amount of reps on each foot. Just like this, engage your core. And this is a shoulder press. Make sure you do it with each foot, like that. And another one that I like that not only works on mobility and balance, but is going to work with our glute muscles. So again, lift one leg up, keep the posture straight, bend at the waist. This is called a single leg Romanian deadlift. Just like that. Now I want to move to here. This is a strong board. This is made to represent an unstable surface. Now at home you can use either a basketball or a volleyball, some that you could stand on. But what we want to make sure that here is that our posture is straight and the body will be moving. So the body is designed to protect itself. So no more than a few seconds. Let your body adjust. Now, you can also use this for lunges. Just like this. Now, we're going to go from this position, neutral pelvis, neutral spine, and move straight down. Switch to the other leg. Just like that. Now I want to move to this platform where we want to work on our calves. So these are made to represent maybe the stairs at your house. So feet together, heels off to the side, up. And what you can also do here are a series of squats. Now we want to make sure that our squat form is correct. So a wide base, slight bend in the knees, neutral pelvis, and from here we're going to keep our torso up and we're going to squat down just like this. Now be sure that the knees do not overshadow the toes. Just like that. Those are a few tips and tricks you can do at home to improve your posture, mobility, and balance. See you around next time.
Thanks a lot, Nate. Well, a stellar career as the tournament director of the FedEx St. Jude Classic is coming to a close. Our good friend and multiple-time guest here on Sports Files, Phil Cannon, is stepping down from his position after decades on the job. Cannon will leave his post November 1st to spend more time with his wife, Cindy, and continue to battle cancer, which was diagnosed in April of 2014. The 62-year-old Cannon has worked for the tournament for nearly 50 years in one capacity or another, including the last 15 as tournament director. Tournament manager Daryl Smith, also a previous guest on Sports Files, will take over as tournament director. Cannon will stay on as a consultant through the 2016 event, scheduled for June 6th through the 12th. We wish Phil all the best in the world. He did his job as well as anyone could. We also wish Daryl good luck in his new position. And lastly, my congratulations to my son Greg and his fiancee Dory on the birth of their baby girl, Lucy Grace. How precious, my first little grandchild. And that'll do it for this week's show. Remember, to see any of our previous programs, head to our website, WKNO.org, or check us out on YouTube. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
Production funding for Sports Files is made possible in part by
Infiniti of Memphis has moved to Germantown Road, just half-mile north of Wolf Chase Galleria, and is proud to support WKNO for its quality broadcasting and service to our community. Quality and service? No wonder Infiniti of Memphis feels at home on WKNO.